All our guests are special, but this one's special to me because it's been a while since I've seen them. We were together last year in the paddock when life was good, and we were able to walk around without a mask. But now here we are. We got Toni Elias on the show. Thank you, Toni, for coming on board. Much appreciated you making the time to come on.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Very, very happy to talk to you again.
You and the missus have had a new arrival as of recently, right?
Yeah, I received your message like, hey, congratulations, and yeah, man, I'm very happy, fucking nice, blah, blah, blah. Your post, like, very happy to hear I introducing my new baby. I said, oh, man, I should say something, and I text you back, hey, congratulations. It was amazing.
It's crazy. That's all. I mean, when I found out that you were expecting again, I was watching your Instagram and I was like, oh, the progress. The past couple of months have been rather interesting. But enough about me and my daughter coming into this world. But how has it been for you and your family dealing with quarantine, dealing with California, dealing with a new arrival in the house? How have you been able to kind of deal with this?
Well, these things are very, very scary. Still is something scares me a lot. And for the moment, we just keep the baby at home and keep it safe, not take it out for any reason. Maybe in some days to take some fresh air, but must be very fresh. But for the moment, it's safe at home. But the months previously it's been crazy. I think for everyone, stay at home, work from home. You cannot get out for anything. Just the supermarket, lines for everything.
Well, that's the interesting part is that I don't know about you, but I've been, Mr. Mom, I've been having to go shop, cook, clean. How is that? Were you kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it here? Because I know you're pretty active, living out in California. You've embraced the California lifestyle, surfing and certain things and doing things outside. Have you been able to kind of keep with that routine?
When I was single, I was able to surf 3 or 4 times a day, anytime I wanted, 5 a.m. or 9 p.m. No, it doesn't matter. But right now, when you have the first newborn, everything changed, and of course I keep my routines, training, and things like my passion, like surf. But the good thing, we share a lot of things at home with my girlfriend and the mother of my kids. She loves surf, she loves the sport, she loves gym. At home we share everything. Like sometimes she cook, and other times I cook. We share the things for the babies, like showers. Yeah. Food, clean them, organize them.
Well, let me cut to the chase. Have you been able to sleep? Now that you got a newborn in the house, do you get any of that? We're talking about, you lose all freedom. Have you been able to sleep at least?
When Toni arrived, now he's 16 months. But when he was arrived, it was pretty easy because he just was crying for food. Yeah. So if he was only wake up for 5 minutes to feed him and then sleep. But this one is different. Everyone is different, and this little girl, Giovanna, arrived and it's like a tornado, no? Sleep during the day, non-sleep during the night. It's like crazy, man. We are like, I'm lucky my girlfriend understands. I said, hey, this is a race week, so from Sunday, I left to another room to sleep. I need to arrive fresh because we need to do a good result this weekend.
And that's the thing is, like, it's a great excuse, but there are times, lately, and I'm pretty fresh into doing this with the newborn recently, is that, I got to take the night shift, from 11 o'clock to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's brutal, especially when I got work the next day. I'm like, I can't think, so that's, I'm on my second cup of coffee. So I go from coffee to espresso real quickly in the house.
Thank God we have that. It's our saver.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, pretty much you are experiencing what every male father experiences is the lack of freedom, the lack of sleep. You probably don't eat as much anymore, and eventually, when your kids get to a certain age, you'll probably start stealing the food off your plate like mine do. So yeah, welcome to the club, Tony.
I'm very happy with both, with this experience to live that every single detail and every single moment. And I'm not changing anything for this. No, I'm happy to non-sleep, to dedicate the all the time to them. No, and
Yeah.
because this is unique in life. And then you see them, they grow up so quick. So I don't want to miss anything, no. And yes, I have to work, I have to race, but I go Thursday and Sunday night. I'm here because I don't want to miss anything.
Having children in your life, does it give you more motivation to carry on with your career, to create this legacy?
I don't know what's gonna happen now with the new one, but I remember with Tony, I felt a push of motivation so big, and I was even more hungry for win. And when I had him is when I raced better, and we had a lot of wins. At the end, we lost the championship, but we win a lot, and I could take him to the top of the podium. That was besides my career, that moment when I could win in MotoGP, or I could win the championship in Moto2, or the championship in MotoAmerica. Bring your son on the top of the podium was amazing. It was another win, something big, no, something to remember. Because look now, the situation is it's so different. We even make one podium this year, so I remember, wow, I was able to take Tony up there, no? So very happy.
I mean, it's got to be difficult not bringing the family along, because it sounds like you would love and prefer to have the family involved at every race weekend. Is that kind of like peace of mind that, okay, they're here, everybody's happy and safe, and now I can go out and race? Or is it kind of a distraction not having them there, thinking about them as they're, back home?
I'm very familiar at home, but very professional and serious on my job. And I don't think it's super good have them all the time there with you. For example, right now, last year we were able to bring Tony 1 or 2 races maximum, and for me it was okay, because you can have your family there to live the atmosphere. They can see you. Maybe he's not gonna remember, but he's been there, no. But I think have them every single race, 24 hours during 4 days, full of nerves and concentration and risk and many things. I don't think is good. So I'm comfortable leaving home alone and focus. And then if this COVID-19 give us the opportunity to live races again together, will be very nice, no? But if not, this is the most safe way right now.
The last project I worked on with you was for Motul when you were with Yoshimura. You want your son to possibly follow in your footsteps, kind of like you did with your father, so on and so forth. Generations.
If I think how difficult is this world, I hope become a normal guy playing football or playing basketball or something like that. But at the same time, could be nice. The fourth rider of the family is the fourth Toni Elias.
And it was about talking about history and stuff. And and we got to talking about your family, about your father, your uncle, and being involved in motorsports at an early age, and it being a family fair. And the one thing just right off the bat I got from you was, family is an important thing for you. Family first. And now that you have your family, are you looking to have that possibility of carrying that tradition on to your children?
It's really, I think it's really nice to if the life give us the opportunity to be together long time, it's important to take this opportunity and be together and enjoy together. Of course, the personal relationships are between two, and then you have kids, but it's important for me from my partner to have this connection with my family, to because I want my parents, my family enjoy our kids too. No,
Yeah.
I think it's really nice. I have grandpas and grow up with them too. I don't wanna. We have this opportunity, so I want to take this chance, and then I hope one day say, okay, I did a great job, and of course they will fly alone, but if we can still share a lot of things, even if I'll be older, you know. But yeah, I think it's important, very important for me. I can see families are different, and sometimes it's okay not talk too much with your parents or be more separate. Or for me, no, for me it's really important. I hope to continue this tradition.
Now, did your family get to see your new daughter?
We are sending pictures and videos and zooms.
Your family is over in Spain, correct?
Yes, because my family entered here every time with tourist visa. They've been a lot, so they enjoy a lot Tony. But COVID-19 give us a little bit more difficulties. No, I hope this situation improves soon. Like this, they can know my little Giovanna, and but right now it's not possible. All the tourist visas are cancelled.
Yeah.
So it's destiny. Destiny wants it like this right now, and we have to accept it. Even if, of course, I would like to see my mom and my dad having this little girl in their hands. No.
That's the one thing that I've been having to wrap my head around is that, waiting at the hospital, first of all, when the arrival of my daughter happened not too long ago, I couldn't go into the hospital. You had to wait outside and then go through a certain stage in order to get into see, the missus. And that's like, I can't even show my daughter off to family because, of what everything's going on right now. So it's kind of crazy, but I'm thinking things are going to bounce back pretty soon. I mean, people are now wrapping their head around like, oh, this is serious, and I need to wash my hands. And you being a father already, with kids, I'm constantly washing my hands. So like, I was kind of prepared before COVID. I've been cleaning and scrubbing hands and again playing Mr. Mom, disinfecting whatever around the house. It's been crazy, but to move forward, talk about the whole purpose of this show is to kind of seek out inspiration and what you find, inspirational, and I've kind of picked up on in the past through some other interviews, your children inspire you, but what inspired you at a very early age to get involved in your career, because it's got to take a lot of drive to seek out and get into this kind of line of work and this path. What initial steps did you take? At what age was it that you were like, Dad, please, who was the main motivator? And again, what was that time frame of you when you were a kid to say, this is what I want to do. This is my passion.
My parents had the motorcycle shop, a dealer, Yamaha dealer was, and I after 5 days I arrived there. So I grew up between motorcycles and gas and mechanics and Greece. So it's been part of my life since very little. But for me, was a game, was play, and I had a lot of fun. I was a big troublemaker between the motorcycles and the mechanics, putting tools in the pipe exhaust, putting sand in the gas tanks and things like this. No, I had a lot of fun. Was a big troublemaker, but I exchanged my pacifier for a motorcycle. Was the PW 50, and that's the bike of my life. I had a big memories with that. Then I started doing motocross. Was not good. I was not having fun. I remember my mom. Hey, the first race. Did you had fun? I said, no. I'm super mad. I that was not fun. I'm dirty. I'm the last one. Motocross, I don't like it. Even if my dad was 10, 11 times Spanish champion and my uncle twice, everyone was coming to me, putting pressure like, hey, you have to be better than your dad. At that time, I start to watch Formula One and GP 500. Formula One, my idol was Ayrton Senna, and in motorcycles was Wayne Rainey. And one time I found a little pocket bike, and I said, Dad, this is what I want. And my dad said, no, because you have the motocross bikes there in the garage. So why you want this little road bike now? It's going to be another piece in the garage. No, I want to try it. You will see. First time touching elbows, knee ground, same as what I was seeing on TV, copying Wayne, basically.
Yeah.
And I went to a race, and the first race I won. Was a game, but win was amazing. And in motocross, I was doing the last one. So, hey, I like this, that. I want to continue this. No, nobody pushed me. I just choose, and I want it, and I ask for. And this is what I think many parents has to understand this. Kid will ask what he will want to do. Not because you buy a tennis racket or a soccer ball or a basketball has to be Michael Jordan or Rafa Nadal or let's say Valentino Rossi or Marc Marquez, because you buy a motorcycle and you push him and you put him on training and put pressure. No, that doesn't work. And it come natural, and I decided to turn professional when I was 14. Before was a game, was play. I had a lot of fun, win a lot of races, but for fun, that's it.
What was that kind of moment where the light switch went off, at that age of being 14, where you're like, I need to practice, I need to have a regimen, or I don't know. I mean, are you that natural with talent that you didn't really have to have a structure of cycling and training? You just would, normal kid with energy, just get on the motorcycle and adapt. How was, what was that moment where you're like, I need to take this a little bit more serious to the next level?
I think I loved during my life riding bicycles and some skates and stuff. So if I was not in a motorcycle, I was on my bicycle. So that kept me fit all the time. But I remember when I was 13, turning 14, my parents asked me, hey, this is not a question to put pressure on you, but is the time to just, do you want to continue playing and we have fun and we will be super happy, or you want to be professional of this because you are really good, but you have to think what do you want, no? And he said, no, I don't have to think. I want to arrive to the world championship, and I want to be professional of this. I want that become my job one day. And so, okay, then you have to be professional, have to start to have routines and set some goals. And my dad never, since very little, never put me pressure, never jumped in the track and told me, gas, or stupid, you are so slow. Never. He jumped on the track to say, hey, little bit on your left, or close the line, or just for on practice, and then analyzing everything, teach me how to work. Only teach me good and positive things, but never under pressure.
Do you think your dad, I mean, helped groom you to just deal with pressure a little bit better because of that positive reinforcement? Because, I mean, I'm thinking about it, you know, and just doing the research on you and your age bracket of what you were involved in. I mean, I didn't really literally deal with pressure until, like, you know, like extreme pressure, like maybe in my late 20s, 30s and stuff. And I'm like, at your age to deal with certain things on an international level, I'm like, it's impressive, you know? So that's why I beg the question, you know, is it mom helping out, mom and dad, family influence, you know, a trainer, having a professional racer kind of groom you and help, you know, kind of cultivate? What was that motivation to help keep you grounded and deal with the challenges that you face throughout your career?
No, I think basically my father was the one who was more educating me in technically, more into. He loved always the technique. He's a really good mechanic, a really good. Technique, like he prepped the engines so well, always prep my bikes. And I remember we planned days of testing with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, completely days, and sometimes 2 days. My mom was the only one who put me more pressure on study and take the said, okay, if you have a good I don't know how you guys say it at school. In Spain we call the notes. You have a great numbers, you go to race. If you don't pass the exam, if you fail the exam, for example, you no racing, no. And I remember sometimes I fail and no racing. So at the end, I was very lazy at school, and just studied all my life for a pass, because the pass was what give me the opportunity to go to racing. So my mom was more to educate me as a person. My dad was more educate me as a rider, but again, never put me pressure. I remember days becoming dark, and still he jump on the track and say, hey, man, stop. It's dark. Stop. And me like, hey, one more lap? Take time, please, take my time. Boom, the fastest lap of the day, no? and then that, all these things, I could keep them inside forever. But the most difficult thing was when I left to do World Championship. Then is when I was 16, was alone, and had to deal with not very nice people, not very nice teams, with not nice bikes, not competitive at all. And then, but I've always been a fighter, no? And more difficult was more good, no? Like, okay, let's do it. I want to.
Well, let me ask you this question because it's just your background, having your father with the motorcycle dealership, and again growing up in that atmosphere of mechanics and stuff. Do you have a little bit of expertise and knowledge on the the mechanics of motorcycles and stuff? I mean, having that knowledge, does that make you a great communicator when it comes to talking to your team about adjustments and fine tuning? Does that make you just a little bit more knowledgeable to communicate?
I'm not. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a good mechanic.
See, I thought you would be. See, that's the thing is, I'm like, maybe he worked on his bike at early. Maybe okay, maybe that's what makes him, a little bit sharper in the paddock. Is that he knows the fundamentals about working and getting in certain things. No, not you. Just ride the bike. You're just that good.
In many occasions, I put the bike apart, like in every single piece, but I never had the balls to rebuild it again.
Yeah.
Always had to be my dad there helping me. Since very little, I learned about technique and setups and why, and the bike loose grip, do this, do that. Right now, after 28 years dealing with this, because my dad, as I said, like we test a lot of hours.
Yeah.
He prep a plan with 7-8. I remember. Okay, now we will test pipes. Now we will test engines. Now go to eat some pasta because I need to change the engine.
Now, having that experience with your family and traveling it early, is that something that you want to kind of have with your new family? You want to have that experience, kind of recreating those memories?
Now because the condition right now with COVID is different, but my dad still came a lot of races, some this year, some last year. Always they've been around and enjoying the good and the bad things, and always I remember, hey, mom, next week I can be world champion in Moto 2. Prepare a flight, no matter how much cost. I want you guys there, no? So, boom, they had the opportunity to live that moment for MotoAmerica Championship. Hey, man, I think next week, Tony, do it, and then we'll see. No. Take a flight from Spain.
Let me jump right into it, because that's the one thing is that I find super fascinating, especially in 2010 when you won the Moto 2 championship. And to kind of go back to what you were saying, you were part of some teams that the bike didn't work out. Some of the teams weren't nice. Did you feel like it was all worth it because you got through those experiences that you're at? 2010, you won the championship. That it was all vindicated. That it was worth it.
I think every victory, no matter what, if it's a race or if it's a victory or if it's a podium or if it's a world championship or MotoAmerica championship, that is the moment when you enjoy and when you want the ones who been next to you in the process to achieve that. That's why, hey, come to Malaysia or come to New Jersey because I feel it's gonna happen and I want you guys there. No, please, we will be happy, but no. I want you there, so take a flight and come. And that moment, it has to. How can I explain this? That is the good moment, but for that moment happen, in my case, always had to be many mistakes, many sheets before that. You see some guys, the career of some guys, like, for example, Marc Marquez. fighting a lot, winning some championships in little class, but then arrive and boom, everything in a row, no? Like Moto 3, Moto 2, MotoGP, 6 in MotoGP. Wow, man, slow down. No.
Yeah. Yeah. He came in like a charging bull. Yeah.
For me, it's not been like this. It's been many shit, many shit, many shit, many shit. Boom, something really nice. Okay, many shit, many shit, many shit, many shit. Boom, something really nice.
Consistency, consistent.
I hope to make boom again. I don't know when, but I believe all the things I had to work or suffer before, it's been for a reason to achieve these things. And when these things happen, maybe my level of happiness and adrenaline that moment, I believe is bigger than than Marc Marquez win 6 titles in MotoGP, you know?
I mean, a win is a win and a victory is a victory. But, you know, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough when you won in 2017 in MotoAmerica to be there at that final stage. And that's the thing is, what is more complete for you as far as a win? The fact that you came to America in a new series and, within a short time span won a championship, or the victory from Moto 2 in 2010?
I think the one in here in 17 was the nicest one, because as we were talking about only racing, and you eat many shits, and then you achieve something. I think it's the same in life, no? You eat shit, and you did some money in the past, and then you are broke, and then you come to America and start to win some races, and
yeah,
you learn also, not only as a racer, as a human in life, no?
Tony, listen, I mean, you know little about me, but I swear my life has been a series of shit, good, shit. So I'm right there with you again, because I've had that flow of throughout my career and throughout life, and it's the good and bad, but just being persistent at it, and the interesting thing is, to go back even beyond that, when you first came to MotoAmerica, you were filling in for, I think, an injured Jake Lewis for Yoshimura. And I remember candidly talking, like, I personally was saying, I would love for you to be here to States. And I know many would. And you were quick to just get onto Suzuki and adapt and just throw down these hot laps and do what you do. And I'm like, this is impressive. I would love for to see that. And there was that time period where it's just like you were a little uncertain. But now that you're here, do you feel more comfortable riding in the series, knowing that you have a fan base, that you have a good crew around you, that you can have a lengthier career here? I mean, does it feel good to be part of the MotoAmerica series?
I have a big, since I was little, I had a big feeling for this country. Just because initially was just because I love the flag. Said this American flag, and I love the colors, and I love the stripes, and I love the stars, and I just want this flag in my room. And that was when I was 6, and I had this flag for 6-7 years until we changed house, and for some reason that flag disappeared. I don't know how, but and then I'm here and arrived here, and the things went good, and I fit in that amazing team called Yoshimura with Suzuki, and I had a lot of fun, and I fit in the championship. I felt so good that I felt the people loved me since the beginning. The everyone was happy and said, like, man, you bring something different, and we are really appreciate what you bring, and this is amazing, you know. And then the things of life, met an American girl, and
Well, that's the thing is, Tony, I swear, I think you're more American than half my friends that are born here, because you go surfing, you live in California, you ride a motorcycle, you've got a blonde girlfriend. I mean, I don't know how more American or Californian you could possibly be. I mean, honestly, you've embraced the lifestyle so well. Just keep on going with that. I mean, and that's the thing is, like, you come over here, and I'm just like, you fit in so well, and you adapted so well, and that's the one thing that I think is remarkable, is that going from a country to another country and doing what you've done as far as success and just raising a family and whatnot. My hat goes off to you. That's all. I have to dive back into your psyche of when you were a child. Like, how do you deal with all of this? You know, the pressure of doing certain things and adapted. I mean, like, my hat goes off to you. You know, a lot of admiration for you, Tony. I gotta say, especially being a father of two. You know, it's tough out there, man. I feel your pain.
I born in Manresa, Barcelona, Spain, but I'm American.
With that in mind, you know, I gotta say, if you had to just block out the fact that you've got family that were pro racers and champions, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? What would, like, say, for example, what would you want to be? Because I say this, you're a good dresser. There's a couple of professional riders. You know, I'll throw out Bobby Fong, for example. He's a sharp dresser. You know, Garrett Gerloff. You have your own level. You've got a very nice look to you. Would you ever be involved in, I don't know, you know, some type of fashion industry? Whatever. I don't know if it'd be a photographer. You got awesome sneakers too. That's the thing. Is, like, would you be a sneaker designer? What kind of career choice would you be if it wasn't being behind, you know, being on two wheels?
Something very quick. I did a lot of mistakes in my career, and probably right now, if I could join the World Championship again, I would choose things differently, and probably right now I could be one of the top guys in MotoGP.
So are you hinting at a possibility that you still got that passion, that, hey, if there's a wild card, if there was that attempt just to get into a World Superbike or a MotoGP, no, not at the.
I always had that. I always had that internal vein, like, okay, just give me the opportunity, no? Let's do it. But the problem is, when you have the opportunity, it's not so easy. It's like need hours and need work, and it's not arrive in one place and fit like I did here in MotoAmerica. That happened once, but not happened many times. So, but let's say I never would be a motorcycle racer. You said it, like, I would be shoe designer, and with my sister, we had that passion since very little. I'm crazy. I'm crazy for the shoes, for sneakers. I have many. I spend a lot of money on that. In between Spain and USA, it's crazy.
I would see you every other round in a new pair of either Adidas or Nikes, and just the dollar signs. I'm going, wow, it must be good to be Tony, because he's got it. You got it?
I'm gonna show you something.
Show me something. Show me something. I want to see.
Crazy. I am. For shoes.
See, this is what I was hoping
And
for.
you see?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Wow.
crazy for Air Max 1.
Oh, yeah.
So we have crazy for Air Max 1.
Tony, I can't even compete with that. That is insane. I was actually going to attempt to show you my collection. I can't, because it's embarrassing, because it is a third of that size. That is sick. That is awesome. See, I like that. I appreciate that.
I like sneakers, but also I like the shoes. So, like,
Well, Tony, agree. Now let's go back, all right? Because, you know, there was a point before you became a father. You were single. I was single at one point. Hard to believe, but at one point,
I'm gonna go back. Okay.
yeah, I used to think, when a woman saw me, they'd look, at your shoes and then look up. So the first point of somebody looking at you, if you didn't have the right shoes on, pfft, there's no way you'd have no game with any kind of female. So I always took the shoe game serious, especially at the young age. A moment of like dust or dirt on my shoe, that shoe would be gone. New shoe. I'd have to get, if my white shoe had a little bit of dirt on it, gone, because I'd have to get something fresh and clean and look the part.
Like always, I like to be like clean and well dressed, and yeah, the shoes have been the most important thing of the pack, no? But I've been a little bit obsessed on this, and if I was not fully prepared from the top to the bottom, was like, okay, no, not even one girl will be interested in me, no? So at the end, it's not like that, no? Because one of the most important things, and I really appreciate, is like this area where I start to live when I arrive in MotoAmerica. Suzuki Yoshimura took an hotel here in South Bay, California. This area, sometimes, and this happened to me, I'm talking from my experience and myself. First car I had here is a van, Chevy van, and I bought it to Suzuki for $2,000, and I still have it. It's the one I go to surf. Paint it in black, put in nice wheels, looks like full, but it's old.
Yeah.
And girls, when saw me arrive with that van, was like, like, bye, see you, no? Not even one date again.
Do you ever see at an early age, and then again, maybe it's an American thing, the A-Team, they had a black van with the red stripes on it. Maybe that could have been the theme for your van.
I tried everything, but didn't work. The thing is, when I met Christy,
Yeah.
I met her surfing, and when after surf said, okay, let's get out, and she had his car, and I had the van there, and it's been the first girl said, wow, this van is fucking cool. I said, wow, this one is the one.
That's right. Thinking about your girlfriend, I'm like, you are so active. There's not a moment where I see that you sit still. How do you find somebody to match your energy level? Because you're cycling, you're surfing, you're doing things, you're always outdoors. That's why I'm like, you're so athletic. Finding that significant other to do that is like a diamond in the rough. And obviously you did it, because that's I see now, obviously, photos of you both surfing and doing things. And it's like, it's great. It's great to see couples doing that. I wish my wife could surf, but I do enjoy that alone time surfing by myself. And
More crazy than me.
well, let me ask you this. I mean, the one cool thing that I love, and I'm a very passionate person. I like to be behind the camera. I like to ride motorcycles, but I love surfing. Is that like your Zen moment? I mean, some people talk about having the religious experiences going into, the water, catching a wave, surfing. I feel almost like reborn. As soon as I get out of the water, I can have the worst day ever, but as soon as I catch a wave and I get out of the water, out of the surf, I feel like just revitalized. Like everything that was a problem is gone. Is that kind of what you seek with surfing?
Surf was really cool, but I start in Australia, and that was once a year or twice a year for test or for the race, jump in the water with the rent board, no idea of anything. So I always had that motivation for this, no? And I found a T-shirt in Australia, and was something like ocean and earth. Surfing is my religion, no? And that when you try surf and you start to get into and motivate to improve, and that feeling, it's true. It's like a religion, and it's a feeling, it's a lifestyle, it's my medicine, it's my jump in the water and surf a little bit, mentally cleanse my body. It's amazing. I wish everyone found this motivation for this sport, because at the end you don't have to risk much to enjoy it, and what gives you good feeds you, you breathe, your muscles, your balance, the water, the salt, the sun. Fuck, this what gives you all this combination of things? It's amazing.
That's the thing is, I before kids would love to go travel. Like, I live in New Jersey, and I grew up surfing in Jersey, but I wouldn't recommend doing it here because the way everything's set up, it's not really that I don't know, exciting. So that's why I like California, where you go surfing. That's the ideal spot. So you've surfed over in Australia. What other spots have you hit? I mean, have you been to Hawaii, Costa Rica, any other spots?
That's the if one day when I will retire it and the kids grow a little bit more, we would like to go to know new places. No, I've been in Hawaii once with the team. Yeah. We had a lot of fun because Daisuke, my ex-crew chief, we surf a lot together. He helped me to and teach me a little bit at the beginning. So we've been at Hawaii after win the championship as a present, no? And then Australia was really nice. North and south of Spain, Portugal a little bit, but I never been in all these other.
You've been around some really good breaks. Spain, Portugal, just California, Hawaii. Those are some really good spots. And I know you're not a shortboarder. You're into like fun shapes, right? Longboarding. Is that longboarding's more the kind of thing that you're into?
I started with longboard, but every time it's shorter and shorter and getting more level, and I'm having more fun with the short ones. But I have a really short one, full carbon, was super nice. But man, I don't have balls to ride that. That's too much. So that's 5'2", I think. Right now I'm 6'4" or something like this, and that's my limit.
That's the thing is because of my breaks in my area, I'd have to travel. The breaks in Jersey aren't that good. I'd have to go up to either like Montauk, New York, or to go south. But I started getting into longboarding because it's like even a bad day you can still catch stuff. And that's the thing is I've been trying to longboard out west where the waves are 5, 10, 15, and it's like, yeah, that's not where you go longboarding. And so I've had some interesting trips out west, and that's all right. But I'm a longboarder, and I've promised you this open invite every time you've come to New Jersey. I've got boards for you, but I hate to say it, the breaks here aren't that good, and every time like it's like a race weekend in New Jersey, it's completely flat, like not a ripple. It looks like a lake, and I'm like, I can't even invite him. I'm like, how cool will that be? You're in my area, go surfing with me, but there's nothing. There's nothing.
I had 2 or 3 serious crash in those days when the waves are high, are big.
You've gotten barreled. You've had your stories.
And I touched the bottom in one of these, so I got really scared. Like, fuck. I crash a lot with the motorcycle and very fast, but a crash like this, I never had it in a motorcycle. Like, seriously, you have to slow down here. Not a joke. And I just, for me, 5, 6 feet, something maximum. I have fun on this, and I'm okay with that. More, I just look for the others.
Do you keep in touch with teammates and colleagues from the past overseas, as far as other race endeavors? That do you still keep in touch with old teammates?
I have a good relationship with many people, but I always keep in touch with the ones who've been real friends, being riders, teammates, ex-teammates, ex-crew chiefs, and good people. And no matter what we do or we will do, we will still in touch and having this friendship, no?
No, so that's the thing is you've been a part of a lot of racing, a lot of diverse racing. Who to me would be your fiercest competitor? I mean, who is the one rider still to this day that you just kind of go, wow, you know, he's amazing. You know, I got a lot of respect for him. You know, who has been that fiercest competitor that you've had to deal with?
For example, somebody who always impressed me in the track so much with his riding style was Dani Pedrosa. The way he stopped the bike, turned the bike, pick up the bike, and just disappear was, no one surprised me like that. But the one I admire more and I could fight with him and I could beat him was Valentino Rossi. Valentino has been the most complete guy in every single aspect a rider can have, no? Like technical, big balls, intelligent, strategy, incredible. And then when you were there fighting with him and seeing all these amazing things, he still had something ready as a final present, no? Like, okay, this is the last lap, bam, little bit more. Whew, where did that come from? No, what all the things I seen, it's amazing, but this, where you had that, no? And I think that's why he's not the guy with more world championships, because all times the riders could win 3 world championships in 1 year riding different classes, so that doesn't count. But being not 9 times world champion, probably in market, it's even better than him, and probably he will beat him.
So let's just throw out time. Okay, time doesn't matter. And if you had to race against anybody, who would be your fiercest competitor? I mean, you know, again, I throw out names like Kenny Roberts, you know, Senior. You know, who would be that one rider that it didn't matter which genre or what time period he was? Who would you like to have battled with?
Like to be in that battle in between Wayne Rainey and Kevin Swans. Ooh. Because for me that were the gold times for me, the times when I was little and when I was seeing idols. Now it's different. I think Valentino is an incredible rider, and for me it's the best, and 9 world championships and everything, but are different times and times where I live and I fight with, and I've been in and I've been close. So for me, it's not been an idol, Valentino, and Wayne was, no? Mm-hmm. And when you are a kid and you have an idol, that's the biggest thing in your life.
Well,
no?
How is it? I mean, now that, you know, fast forward, you know, you got Wayne Rainey, he's the boss man. You know, how is it working with the boss man? I mean, that's got to be a great full circle that, you know, dreams come true. You idolize the man, and, you know, he's a champion himself, and here you are.
I knew Wayne since a long time ago, but I went to race in Indianapolis to replace Karel Abram. And I found in the parking lot Wayne and Chuck Aslan, and I went to them. I said, "Man, I really want to come to racing here in MotoAmerica, because what I seen in the pit lane with the Yamaha team and the Suzuki team, it's amazing. It's really professional, really different. But I would like to come here okay, let's start to work on and let's see if there's some opportunity. And then I think was this advice from Wayne, and then Suzuki had this problem, and then they contact me, no? And now it's amazing. Your idol is the boss of the championship.
But let me ask you this: now that you're a part of Suzuki,
Yes.
that's Kevin Schwantz territory to me. That's when I think of Suzuki, and again have you had conversations being here in MotoAmerica with Kevin Schwantz?
That's really interesting because, man, I admire Kevin as a person, as a racer, and he was a show and has a big balls and did amazing overtakes for the history. But my idol, and I told him, was Wayne. He said, man, I'm so sorry, but I said, stay, it's okay, it's fine. So then Kevin explained me some story like how they hate each other. I also read the book of Wayne, and he was explaining how he was hating, how he hate Kevin Swans. And Kevin told me the same, how Kevin hate Wayne, no? And and then one day he explained me he date Wayne's sister, and he arrived at Wayne's home with Wayne's sister, and Wayne, what are you doing with this one here? No, like just to break his balls, no, like that's the extreme levels of hate, and was really fun. But I think Kevin understand in front of me. Behind me, probably hate me a lot, and he's not very happy. But man, it's something it's bigger than me. My idol will be always Wayne, even if he's my boss or not.
Have you been a part of kind of hearing some insight from Wayne, on about his battles with, winning the championship in different years? Have you had that insight from Wayne personally, and recently?
And look and watch many videos and books from Wayne, and Wayne never talk about his past or his career or anything unless you ask. And for some reason, he always been very open to help me. And I ask things sometimes like, man, look, because he came and, hey, what's your problem? Because in TV it looks like this, that. Man, I feel this bike is short, or I'm losing the rear. I have too much front weight. And then he connect with his past and then start. Yeah. One time I was trying angles or trying offsets, and to solve this problem, I did this, I did that. Maybe you should try this. He connect, and he has a lot of experience. He knows what he's talking about. But because you ask something, but he will never talk if you don't ask anything.
Very rare that you have Wayne Rainey right there giving you his perspective on how to dial in a bike. I mean that's gold. That's a golden moment right there. But I asked this question now to kind of flip flop again. You have Kevin Schwantz, you have Wayne Rainey. In the mix, in the current mix behind the scenes, and now behind the scenes more in your current race program, you have John Ulrich. John Ulrich was a part of Kevin Schwantz, John Hopkins. I mean, I could go on. Do you feel like now working with John Ulrich that you're tapping into a little bit of that edge, that experience, that expertise that helped Kevin, that helped certain things? Do you feel with this year that you're kind of tapping into something a little bit more to help your career out with John?
We are having a lot of difficulties, more than what I was expecting. But are not. This is not something my actual team create. They are not creating any situation. We just have difficulties for different reasons, because Yamaha improves a lot, and not one step, two. Two is 1.5 seconds or sometimes 2 seconds faster. We are doing the same lap time, but they just find out a bike, and probably this bike is even worse than last year. So, but this is what we have, and this is what we fight with. And I have a lot of respect for John, not only for John Ulrich, not only for what we did with this, with all these riders, with Hopkins, with Hayes, with Kevin Swans in his times, with his company, and with his team, the Team Hammer. Not only for that, also as a person, because when you are having big problems, the most easy a team can do is jump on the rider and point fingers and why this and why that and why you are not fast and you are mentally fucked up and you physically are not okay, and there's a lot of shits, and the rider is always the first one to receive, no? They never point finger on me. They never lose confidence. They never talk shit. And still, the last conversation I had after the last race was, man, thank you so much for finish the race and bring points home, because for us it's really important. That, wow, fuck, I did a shit race. I'm not happy, and the boss is telling me, thank you so much. Okay, hats off to this man. And then said, I know you are not happy because you are a world champion, and a world champion, of course, is not happy with P5. But fuck, I have a world champion in my team. And don't worry, we will get there, we will fight, we will build, we will work until arrive there. So
just this year alone, it's very challenging. It's very challenging to deal with each state and the regulations about going out to practice. You know, it's rough with businesses and sponsorship, you know, the money, trying to get that into race programs and add, because, you know, the past several months, everything's been downsized or put on hold. So I could imagine your training program, the practice, the setup, all that stuff has been compromised. So, and if anything, it's either been taken away or reduced at some point. So, you know, to have these problems in a race program, it's because of what our current environment is, I think, you know, and hopefully your team is top notch. I mean, you surrounded yourself with the best mechanics, and hopefully things could work out sooner than later, you know. But that's the thing is, I think, to me, you know, 2020 is like, it's a wash. You know, the only beautiful thing that's come out of this is, you know, one, your daughter, my daughter too. You know, that's it. As far as that, I'm like, I'm waiting for next year. You know, but you know, hopefully things bounce back as far as, you know, your race program and getting the bike dialed in, and that's the thing is, you know, you're technically, I want to say, what, mid-season right now, so things could be shaping up hopefully sooner, you know, but with that in mind, you know, what has been, you know, your greatest challenge this year? Has it been just adapting to the bike?
We are doing everything, trying to have more power, trying to have more frame, more grip, traction, more turning, more stability. But what we have and what we find out is basically the bike is not new. I have the same bike as last year, but for some reason is slower, as a little bit slower in power. And then with that problem, we are fighting with, and we are trying to, from the frame side, modify, to have more stability, to have more grip, to be faster. And at the end of the weekend, we are in the same lap times as last year. So I think we did a great job, but right now it's not enough, and it's what we have, and it's what we have to fight with. And the problem is Yamaha did 2 steps forward, and they are in another level. So Cameron is a really good rider. He's in a sweet moment, but I feel right now if somebody was there next to Cameron, I think he still have some extra. So he don't need to now, but he has some extra there. And Gagne is not there, probably will arrive soon, and maybe then he will show the extra he have. But I mean, 3 Yamahas, Cameron, Gagne, Schultz, every single weekend. Very difficult. Okay, Cameron mistake, and my teammate was there. Bobby's doing a really good job. He's fast, but we are in the second group. And right now, it's not being negative, it's being realistic. Thinking in win is impossible.
Yeah.
It's not to be negative, it's be really realistic. You just need to check the lap times and check the videos, and they are in another level. So right now we just have to fight with what we have, and then sit with Suzuki and make a plan and see what we can do. Because right now we have 2 or 3 months more to fight, but honestly we don't have new parts, and we don't have
That's the other thing, is that, you know, with this whole COVID experience, you know, and this is the other kind of interesting fact, is that, you know, just I heard this recently in the industry, is that, you know, like, certain teams were having problems getting parts from overseas. Certain teams were having problems with getting, you know, certain oil products, that whatever sponsorship. And that's almost kind of like, oh, this really is put a damper on everything, this whole COVID experience. Not just health, it's just trying to get parts and certain things, you know, to work. So it's like, it's very limited, you know, and that's where I'm like, this is going to be an interesting season. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be an interesting, difficult season, you know, dealing with a lot of limitations and restrictions.
It fucked up everything. All the budgets from everywhere are reduced, from Japan, from the leather suits, from the helmet, from the single sponsor, from the company who was sponsoring you and had to close. Yeah. Everyone is receiving, and thank God we are lucky to race again, no? Because in February and March, when everyone was at home, we didn't know what would happen. So if we didn't restart the racing, wow, very difficult.
Well, I'm just thankful, and again, very thankful that you guys are racing this year. You know, and again, everything's healthy. I think the way things have been progressing, everything's been a smart approach. You know, it's a smart approach to keep the sport going, keep it active, and keep you guys vibrant. And that's why I'm glad you guys are racing. But it, you know, with some thoughts about sponsorships and certain things, you know, from your past, have you been able to kind of hold on to certain things, you know, certain collectibles, you know, like leathers from past races, motorcycles? Do you have any of your old different, you know, kind of memorabilia as far as like leathers from different, you know, from Moto 2 and from your MotoGP days? Do you have any motorcycles that you've held on to? Do you have any kind of collections?
I have my first GP bike, 125 was. Then I have my pocket bike, the Moriwaki, with the one I won the championship in 2010. But then leather suits from every single year, every single team, helmets from every season, and many trophies. All this is in Spain. I don't know what I will do. I don't know when will be the right time to bring this here. If it has to be here or not, or I don't know. I have to think that something I would like to have.
Well, there you go. Put it out there. Let's see if somebody can support you and get a shipping container and have it shipped from Spain to California. You know, let's see if somebody could actually help you out with that process.
For the moment, I don't have the space. When I will have the space, maybe I will make the move.
I wanted to just kind of hit you with a couple other questions, and the whole point of this show is really to put out the passion and inspiration to do what you do, and to really drive you. What do you feel like with racing each and every year kind of gives you more fuel to that fire?
And I'm a fighter and never give up. And I hate lose. So doesn't matter my age. One day I will have to stop, but until that's not gonna happen, I will keep fighting and keeping me and myself motivated to achieve that goal, even if it's not realistic. For example, my goal is win again this year, which is not realistic because it's very difficult and they are in another level right now, but I still have that goal and I will keep digging in things and maybe keeping that goal in my mind and digging, I will found something who will put me in that situation again. Maybe even for one Sunday, no? Or for one Saturday, and maybe for one win, the only one day of the year. It's not being negative. It's being realistic.
Yeah.
But, man, it would be nice.
You've been involved in a lot of series. Have you ever thought about doing anything that's a little bit different but still with two wheels, like as far as like time trials, like a TT or like a for example, like an endurance race, endurance? Has that been kind of anything that you thought of, maybe kind of throwing your hat in the mix?
I think every rider is made for some kind of or type of racing. And my body is not made for endurance. I'm very explosive. I'm a 100 meters runner. I'm not a 5,000 meters race or endurance race because I did Suzuka 8 hours and was really nice. But for me that was the limit. In 8 hours, 3 stings of 1 hour was 3 hours, and I felt good. My body was okay, but more than that, I know my body used to have a lot of cramps, and that is not good for race, no. So I sometimes have cramps in just 30, 35, 40 minutes race. So imagine in 24-hour race, I would finish the race like.
I think they'd have to pry you off the motorcycle. Yeah, I would cramp up too. I don't know. That's another level. I think you nailed it. There's certain riders that can do that.
I have friends. I'm not going to say names, but he's been endurance world champion, and he was amazing. It was like 5 hours bicycle ride, then 2 hours running, then party all night, then met at 7 a.m. motocross, non-sleep, and still 4 hours or 5 hours. No problem. He was perfect. He didn't feel the alcohol or the tired or non-sleep or anything. No cramps. He was in between motocross was going to pee and said, "Ha ha! I'm peeing yellow neon." No, like what?
And again, without naming names, because I've had an experience with riders too. Were they Irish or Australian? Because those are the only two nationalities I know that they can go out, have fun, and get on a motorcycle at 7 a.m. and be flawless. So again, I'm just kind of curious, what nationality? Irish, Australian? No, neither.
Was a Spanish, but man, what I'm seeing is impossible. It's incredible how he stay fit and how he is handling all these hours and non-sleep and everything, and still here and then endurance world champion. So of course that he was special for that, not me. You know,
That it takes a special breed of person. I don't know. I don't know how you could
they
do
are
that.
animals.
They are. You're a world traveler. You've been around different race series. What do you like and would like to see as being something consistent here in the United States that you've seen overseas? You know, I like to say, like, my trip to years ago, I covered the Isle of Man. I loved the way the fan base was. I loved how they packed the paddock. What do you want to see that you liked, you know, in the past to kind of be implemented in your current kind of race environment?
I would love to see the NASCAR in MotoAmerica. I would
Like,
love to see lots of teams with different brands, with big teams, with big trucks, with big trailers, with all the companies in America and non-American investing on this amazing show, because at the end it's a great show. It's a great battles. Has nothing. Moto America as a level of competition has everything. Just need to grow, need to arrive, need to touch the heart of the American people and touch. And if that happen, we have Fox TV, we have everything. So
I think honestly you're 110% correct on that, and I couldn't agree with you anymore. Is that, you know, I think what NASCAR has as far as a commercial presence and advertising, a series of different sponsors and rolling billboards and advertisement. I think it brings this a cool commercial aspect. I mean, to go back to what we're talking about with Kevin Swanson, Wayne Rainey, I'm thinking instantly the Pepsi logo design on Swanson's bike, you know, the Marlboro Red, all those different color schemes. And I find that infatuating. That's what I think drew me into racing and Formula One and back, is that the color schemes, the patterns, the different sponsors and stuff. And having that overload of visuals, you know, I thought was spectacular. And I've seen that a little bit more in my overseas travels than here in the United States, but you know, we had that presence, and I think it can, like any kind of business, any kind of economy, make that comeback. And that's I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's what ideally outside of the box sponsorship, you know, kind of a fresher brander look, you know, might be there. Because again, you got Fox Sports, you got everything, you got probably the most fiercest competition and battles on this track this year. I mean, I got to say, you know, watching you race and watching everybody race, I'm like, my God, it's intense.
because Cameron just raced alone, but the last 3 years or 4 years, it's been terrible. The average of winning was 0.1. It means that's every race fight until the last corner, until the check flag. So that's a good show. Just need to create the external things on this. But first of all, if we don't have the brands, the manufacturers involved on this, it's the first step. And the second step is arrive to the heart of Americans. And then the good thing, the NASCAR, you can see everything on these ovals. it's many places is packed. But still, some are not in the city, so still the people go there. I mean, we just need to touch some to find the keys, no?
I think it's happening. It's just. Yeah, exactly. It's just little things here or there. And again, I see it happening. It's slowly but surely. But you know, I asked, and again, I'm wrapping this up very shortly. I know we've got things going on. Do you feel that you're having your fan base follow you from Europe to, you know, this current series? Do you feel that transition and embracing, you know, the racing here at MotoAmerica?
All the people who was following me from the past, from Europe and around the world, they continue following me here, and they are happy and for my results. And it's a shame because the last 2 seasons are, this one and the previous one, are the most difficult seasons, and were the ones when they could start to watch us, not before. So before was, hey, we are really happy, congratulations, but where we can see you? There's nowhere, even in internet, what we can do. And something I talk with MotoAmerica sometimes, why we don't open for Europe, for the rest of the world, and finally it happened.
Let me ask you this, and this is something that I was going to kind of like, I'll dip into it or not, because I don't necessarily think you've seen what we shot about a year and a half ago, and we pulled you into kind of helping out, you know, record a promo for a documentary they were looking to kind of produce last year, and it didn't really go anywhere. But I kind of want to, if you don't mind, I want to get your perspective, because what I would like to do is, and kind of like we were just mentioning, there's really no offshoot to see racing or to see behind the scenes. You see the races, and that's that. There's no more. There's no, you know, going behind the scenes. There's no, you know, build up of the season as far as, you know, what's going on off the track. And so I want to show you something that I worked on. I worked on this pilot, and I don't think you've ever got to view it. So I want to see what your opinions are. So bear with me. I'm going to go switch over here. And
there's a place where every racer wants to be.
A place that separates heartbreak from the victory.
A place where nothing can touch you. The disaster is all around.
A place that many seek.
Few find, and even fewer can stay.
This place is not a myth, but it can make legends.
There's a perfect balance of racer and machine.
It is the line.
The preseason, I expect a lot of up, but I didn't expect the downs. The situation changed.
I remember just sitting there in the middle of the race and watching Heron and Toni, you know, battle it out, smash their fairings into each other. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get in there and get my elbows up if I want to win this thing. We were banging bars there at the end, and it came down to the final corner.
This is racing, these things happen. And some days you realize you lose the championship. And that was the day. I lost many other championships. I won also other ones. In racing, you never know what can happen.
What do you think? First impressions?
I love it, man. You always I love your interviews. You always found a way to go more deep, because you can talk about everything, but it's difficult to arrive in. And I remember in New Jersey when we won the championship, that was really a nice one, and we touched many areas, no, not only racing, and as a rider, yeah.
see, listen, this is. I remember saying, listen, I just had a son, and I'm like, this is something that I know he's going to kick out of, and you signed it for me. Every time that I worked on that project or worked on something that hadn't you on camera, my son would lose it. He would go nuts and love it. And that's what it is like, I saw a little guy just watching you on screen and was just infatuated, and that's why I'm like, I would love to see something like this come together to get that young crowd base, you know, to that young fan and get them involved and get them enthused. And you know, to go back what you're saying, I appreciate your compliments, because that's when you're doing this, it needs to be authentic. You need to get people comfortable to talk, and not everybody's comfortable to talk, especially after a fierce competition on the track. To be calm, cool, and collected, you know, a couple minutes afterwards, it's sometimes you need some time, and that's why I try to, again, tread lightly with my interviews and the timing and conversations.
As you said, no, you are trying to get the attention of the kids at the end with this kind of interviews, and the kind of interviews like today, like one more time. We are not talking only about racing. We are talking about life. We are talking about everything. It's connected. It's the real life. It's the good and the bad, and how you survive in the middle, no? And this is the example for.
Well, that's the thing is, you know, it's kind of a cliche thing. You know, racing is life. It is. It really is. I mean, everything I've learned from the track, I've applied it to, you know, my life, and it somehow works out. But that's I've always been a fan of documentaries and getting behind the scenes, and I always felt that with your presence in the paddock, and especially other fierce competitors in this MotoAmerica paddock, I'm like, there needs to be a different lens, a different view, a different kind of angle to capture this sincere moments, the heartbreak, the trials and tribulations of winning, and then having the complete opposite, you know. And that's what with life, there's drama, and there's love and admiration, and some things where I feel still to this day, if given the opportunity, I would love to just, you know, have cameras on you and other riders and just see how everybody has this common denominator, but can be complete polar opposites. And I find that intriguing now, especially now in this time frame where people are seeking content. People are seeking, you know, especially in sports. I don't know if you've seen a lot of documentaries. There's, you know, stuff on Netflix with F1.
I was about to tell you this one. This one I really get into, and I couldn't stop to watch it, because they are showing exactly what we are dealing in racing. Because the people just see the nice part, the win, the this, that, but man, the meetings in between the teams, the crew chief, the riders, the tension, sometimes the arguments, no, like it's a constant fight, which at the end, what you see on TV is just a result of all of that. But see every single detail, they did it perfectly, and it was so nice. I get into it so much. I just waiting for, I don't know if they will do it for this year, but I hope they do it again.
There's an intensity that, and I don't know if you necessarily feel this, because I've mentioned you're very cool, calm under pressure, and you've dealt with the pressures at such an early age. It probably is nothing to you, but still to this day, I can go to a racetrack, a race venue, and still get that nervous energy. You know, when I step, and no engines are running, everything's quiet, but I step into a track at, like, say, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., before anything happens, the quiet before the storm, and I still get that nervous energy, because you still have to be sharp and focused, because within seconds, things could change, and you need to adapt and need to be very, very, again, sharp and intelligent, and deal with certain reactions with, you know, breakneck speed. So that's all. I'm kind of curious, do you feel that, you know, still that nervous energy when you step into a racetrack?
That's something was there the first day I step on a racetrack or step in World Championship or any kind of paddock, and this energy or this feeling will stay there until the last day. There's something, this is this will be always there, and riders thinking in one way as a rider, but crew chief thinking the responsibility and the nerves for everything has to be all right, has to be perfect, has to be precise, no failures, and other worries from the team principals or the families. Every single person there has different perspectives from the same energy, the energy you are talking about.
Yeah.
It's special. It's racing.
It's like this electric energy that I don't need coffee. I don't need anything. I'm in the zone, you know, and I think everybody feels that. And I'm just kind of curious, is that, you know, having this long experience. I mean, you've been racing, you said, what, 28 years? 28 years you've been competitive?
So I'm 37. It's 33 years now.
Wow.
And then 23 in a real racing, feeling this energy, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot right now.
I'd like to say thank you, Toni, for making the effort, you know, taking the time out of your busy, you know, race schedule. Again, having a child, congratulations. You know, I think I promised you I would say something in Spanish last time I talked to you. So give me a moment. Dios bendiga a tu nuevo bebé.
Good one.
Good.
Man.
Thank you. That's because well, thank you. Like, I have to say something in Spanish. I'm like, every time I've seen him, I'm like, we were always speaking in English. So at least I wanted to say something to sound impressive. But Toni, thank you again for your time. I wish you the best with the family. I wish you the best of the season.
Thank you, man.
All right, Toni. Thank you. Take care.